Heidi ho, YouTube. Alright. I decided to make a quick video on stripped starter bolt holes in your engine block. Now, I bought myself a 93 Chevy K3500 4x4 and it was making a bunch of grinding noise when I tried starting the truck, and to be honest, I thought that the teeth were bad on the starter or the flywheel. Um, so I took the starter off right here, and I cleaned it best I could. And anyway, I tested it, and the solenoid and the motor are both good. The gear comes out and spins and retracts, and the teeth are good, so that's good. I also checked the flywheel, and it also is good. But the thing is, I found out that the bolt holes were stripped, and I also found out that when I took the bolts off the starter, inside the bolt holes were helicoils. Helicoils, however you say it. But I had no idea what the hell they were at first. So then I did some research and I found out what they were. But they're either the wrong size or something. It looked like a spring was coming out when I took the bolt out. Nonetheless, they were just not the right size and they were damaged. So now I have no threads and an enlarged hole in the engine block, and there's no way possible I can install this starter back onto any starter back onto the truck unless I fix those holes accordingly to the correct size bolts, 2 bolts I have on there with the shim. So I've been doing some mad thinking here, and I found out instead of putting more helicoils in there, as you can see, I have my tap and die set here, which I don't really too much need that. But instead of using helicoils, all you do is take a nut, right? And I drilled a hole. This is practice before I do it on my engine block. But at first, I have a 1/2 inch hole, and this is a 5/8 hole. And at first, I thought, hey, let me grind down a nut to see if I can stick it in the engine block hole. And instead of doing that, I'm just going to re-drill the hole a little bit bigger so I can stick the actual hex nut in there instead of grinding the nut down smooth into a circular diameter. Because if I did it this way and I had to actually stick a piece of wood inside there and weld around it, and the wood caught on fire and there's still metal that melted inside, and I had to drill it out with a smaller drill bit and then smooth it out and then not retap it, but just fix the tip of the threads. So instead of doing that, I just took a actual nut like so, and you can see instead of it being round, which fitted in one of these, which is 1/2 inch, this is 5/8, and it goes in there flush, and you can see that there's actual gaps in there that you can weld into. And you can still put the wood in there like so for protection. When I stuck it in here, to be honest, I was getting no metal inside the threaded hole. Even without the wood, I can do that and just weld close these holes. But I'd still stick the wood in there just for safety. But anyway, once you're done welding it, you just grind it down smooth, so when the starter is bolted onto there, it's flush, and you can still use your shims or whatnot. The only issue I have is I got to make sure that the holes are aligned exactly properly with the starter holes, which I'm going to end up doing. But this is part 1 video. I'll make another video when I'm done to prove that I'm right. But But as you can see here, it's just a bolt in there and a bolt in here. Forget this one, just focus on this one. And it's just a bolt in there. And I welded it closed, smooth, and you can totally screw in a bolt in there. You know, so this is what I'm going to do to my engine block. So if anyone out there is thinking about using helicoils, yeah, you can do that. I don't really trust a little spring-a-majiggy inside a hole. You know, if you're going to get a threaded hole repaired, just drill it out bigger to whatever nut size you can get in the hole that you need that matches your bolt thread size, and just weld a nut in there. And that replaces your threads. So you don't have, that's actually just a way to make a bigger hole smaller to fit your bolt in there. Thanks, YouTube.